Okay guys, so the head is in place. I was surprised very pleasantly by the way that we were able to mount this thing in place, because it is very heavy, and as you can see it is very awkward to get this in place, especially with the turbine in the back of the head. But it was very easily, and I have secured with the first two bolts in place. Nothing special. I wanted to say that according to the instructions, it is very nice to lubricate every bolt on the thread and in between the bolt head. So now I'm gonna start to get all the bolts in place and to tighten properly the head according to the instructions. I have them over here. I'm gonna share them with you in a second. So the scariest part is over. Now I'm gonna just finish to tighten the head properly, and then I'm gonna just install the drive belt so I can be able to finish with the installation of the rocker cover over here and everything else, and finally test this car. So let's go. I had to mention that it is very important to clean thoroughly every gap that the bolts are gonna sit inside of the cylinder block, because if there are any debris or any liquids, they may affect the way that you tighten the proper bolt. In this case, the way I'm gonna tighten them. So I did this couple of times, and I still think that I haven't done proper job, but I tried my best, so hopefully this is gonna be enough. Since I have already installed the bolts, now I'm gonna follow this sequence. This is the sequence of the tightening of the bolts, and there are only 3 steps. The first step is 35 Newton meters, the second is 70 Newton meters, and then I'm gonna use that gauge that I showed you to finally tighten them to 160 degrees. Let's get started to see how it is gonna go. For the first step, I'm gonna use this gauge, because the other two, I'm gonna show you that one in a minute. It starts from 42 Newton meters, while I need to, as I mentioned, to tighten first step is gonna be 35 Newton meters, so I can use this one for that. So this is the tool for the first step. Okay, so this was the first step. For the second step I have this very nice gauge, and it is way easier with it because it makes this clicking noise. Once you reach the proper torque, it makes this clicking noise, and you know that you've reached your goal, which is very handy. Just like that. It is shame that I can't go through all the steps with this thing, because it would have been very easy and very nice. Next I'm gonna have to make the third and final tightening with the angles measurement tool, so I'm a bit nervous about this. What I wanted to say before I leave this is that once the work is done, it is best to reset it because to zero value, because that way the springs and the mechanism inside stay intact. Otherwise it may give you a wrong reading the next time you're gonna decide to use it if you leave it under pressure. For this one I'm gonna use just a regular wrench with extension, and so I can make a more accurate tightening. And this is the gauge. The idea is that I'm gonna install the bit on this side, and I think that I have to find a place to secure this part and set my degrees at 0, so when I start to tighten, that it is gonna show me the correct measurement. Let's see how it is gonna work. So guys, I made a mess. The key actually got out of the head of the boat. Now I don't have a way to be sure where exactly was I on the scale. If this reading of 95 degrees is correct. Since this is the first boat, I think that I have the chance to loosen it up back to 70 Newton meters and start this procedure all over again. To be honest, once I reached 70-80 degrees, it got so hard to tighten this bolt that I was wondering how am I about to get to 160 degrees, and immediately after that the key just jump out of the head of the boat. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I can't reach this, it is gonna be very annoying. Not annoying, but very uncomfortable to figure out a way to tighten this properly. So I'm gonna jump back to the previous step with this bolt, and I'm hoping, since I can't see what is going on in the back of the head, I'm just gonna pray that I haven't damaged the head of the boat and everything is okay for now. So let's see. Look at these guys. Exactly 160 degrees. The first one is done. I'm not gonna bother with this anymore. I'm gonna jump to the second one. The important thing is that I proved that it is possible. I mean, I proved to myself, so now I know that I can accomplish this with the other ones. And for the last time, the gauge sits at an angle and I don't see it very good. The readings are a little bit off when the gauge sits like this away from me, and it is a little bit dark inside of the engine bay as well. But I managed to accomplish this result on almost all the boats with small variations, very small, which are not essential. Hopefully this is gonna be enough, the way that I tighten it, because at this point there is no turning back. I'm ready and I'm hoping for the best result. We'll see. I don't know what else to say, except that I'm gonna finish the rest of the assembling and I'm gonna test the car, so hopefully it is gonna be fine, and either way I'm gonna show you the result. So this is it for now. I'm gonna give myself a bit of a rest because it was intense. Actually, after the first two bolts or three, I don't remember, they set the tone and it was way easier with the rest to follow the amount of torque that it was needed to tighten the head properly. So I'm gonna leave it to rest for a bit, and once I assemble everything else, then of course I'm gonna try it. So see you in a bit. So far so good. I have successfully assembled most of the important parts of the engine. I have assembled the drive belt, and I have brought the engine back in its original place, and I have mounted the brackets, and now it is once again secured. As you can see, I have mounted the cover for the valves, and most of the turbo charger pipes are installed as well. Now everything is finally mounted. The battery is in place, all the hoses and all the cables and all the plugs, and everything is installed. I know there is a bit of a mess. I didn't have the chance to clean, but As mentioned, I'm in a bit of a rush, so as you can see I have removed the caps. I have to fill the cooling liquid, the cooling fluid and oil for the hydraulic, and the only thing that I have to mount is the tire, and I have a little bit of plastic pieces over here, but I have left them on purpose because I want to try the car to see if it is gonna start. I'm gonna start pouring the liquids so I can try and crank it for the first time in, I don't want to say how much time I needed to finish this project, but it was a while, so I'm very curious to find out how it is gonna run. So let's get started. Well guys, this is kind of annoying. I was using the battery on a different car and without realizing it is drained, so I'm forced to use jump cables and try to jump start it because I don't want to wait till tomorrow to properly charge the battery, and I'm just gonna try to start the car now, and then I'm gonna leave the battery to charge during the night, but I won't give up without a fight, so let's try that.